gotta understand it. You gotta understand it. You gotta understand it. You gotta understand it. We are here. We are here. On the world's famous, yeah, we're talking about LA's #1 podcast. You gotta understand where you at right now. This is the #1 podcast in LA. I am your host, King Q. Y'all damn sure better be used to me by now because I ain't going nowhere. I keep telling y'all that. This is yet another episode with a powerful, powerful, powerful guest. I'm extremely honored this brother done flew all the way in from New York. You got to understand that it's very, very special. He goes by the name of Tuu Ra in the building. You know what I'm saying?
Brother.
My brother in the building. Very, very, very excited to have you, my man. Before we jump into any conversation, I got to check in with you on a personal level. How are you feeling? What's present for you right now? What's your last 24 hours been looking like?
Preparation, man, but I'm chill. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
I've been visualizing this since it came to me like, nah, I gotta reach out. So now that I'm actually here, it's like I'm here.
That's powerful right there. I like that. Look, my man Tuu Ra hit me up on social media. He say, look, King Q, I got to get on that platform. We got some things to talk about. And you know me and you, we talk, but we talk about things with substance from an educational standpoint. And we all about waking up our people.
Right.
And so we're going to jump into some things. But before we do that, for the people who don't know my main man Tuu Ra, I'm going to open the floor to you right now and allow you to just kind of say who you are, what you do, and just a little bit about what you stand for. The floor is yours. Talk to the people.
All right. So, yeah, how y'all doing? I'm Tuu Ra from Brooklyn, New York. I'm a producer.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to do that.
Brooklyn, New York, producer, songwriter, entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You know, I do a lot. Now I'm officially a manager in a sense for other artists as well. So,
Love it.
You know, we expanding, we growing, we learning.
Love it. Tuu Ra, real quick, I met you in Leimert Park at an open mic called Hip Hop Detox. Remember that?
Yep.
Remember that? I
Yep.
was hosting, I was acting a fool, was I not?
Yep.
Was it the same energy right here, or am I putting on a show?
Nah.
Huh?
This is raw. This is my man's personality right here.
Like that, on stage, rocking that
yeah.
motherfucker. But you know, we was up in there having fun. I was up in there. I met you. We kicked it off immediately. The energy was there. And then when I went to New York this past August, I got to tell y'all, man, it's not too many good, consistent, and reliable people, friends, associates, and people that you network with, especially in LA, that are consistent with connection. And when I went to New York, my brother Tuu Ra took care of your boy for 2 days, like for real, for real. Showed me around the city. My brother took me to the Barclays Center. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Facts.
I was fanning out when I was out there. I was fanning out how people be acting when they go see the Staples Center in LA. I was like, damn, it's the Barclays Center. He took me to a few pivotal spots. That's my favorite word to say, pivotal.
Yeah.
We need some pivotal merchandise. Simone, B Visuals, we got to get on it. We need some pivotal merchandise. But what I'm saying is this, you took care of your boy out there. I just want to say before we jump into any conversation, thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I'll never forget it. And we touched on some very, very key things out there.
Yeah.
We stayed up to probably about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning just having conversation.
Yep. Just
remember that?
It, yeah.
Just chopping it up. What was about music and culture and just our people and beginnings and all type of stuff.
The life, yeah.
And so before we jump into anything too deep, I want to give you the platform to talk about your passion. You're serving purpose right now through utilizing your passion, through utilizing your natural gift. Talk to me about your music journey. How did you start music? What type of music do you do?
So my dad's a musician.
Yep.
In the Creole Haitian compa genre.
Yep.
And he also made house music.
Nice.
So I got close to him around like the age of 13 or 14.
Okay.
And changed my life. You know, that was the first time witnessing someone create something out of nothing. I mean, maybe I saw it before, but I guess because of the connection between me and my father, I'm more, you know, alert and in the moment. So, you know, ever since that time I saw it, you know, him creating on the spot, you know, I just dreamt about it. Like, I want to make music too.
Love it.
And, you know, one day he gave me FL Studio. You ever heard of that one?
No, sir.
Yeah, Fruity Loops.
Come on. I ain't heard of that either.
Yeah,
I ain't heard of Fruity Loops. I ain't heard of Fruity Loops.
You heard of Fruity Loops.
Oh, yeah? Okay, yeah. I ain't heard of Fruity Loops.
So,
heard of Fruit Loops thing. I heard of Fruity Loops. Huh? Break that down to me. Huh?
Nah, it's just it's a DAW to make beats.
Okay.
Yeah, so he sent that to me. You know, started learning a little bit, and then boom, started making beats. Started on my keyboard. At the time, I was still taking music lessons. Anyway, started listening to a lot of hip hop around that time. My dad was a big Rakim fan.
Nice.
You know Rakim?
Of course I know Rakim, big dog. Don't try to play me like that, big dog. Come on, man. You got to understand, Rakim is one of my favorite rappers. I went to Rakim's concert Rakim was the first concert I've ever been to.
Wow.
Into the Juice. That's I got enough to go around. That. I don't know the words, but I know the vibe. You know what I'm saying? It's funny because I didn't even know he was the one that sang that song, because Juice is one of my favorite movies of all time. And you know that movie is on Juice's soundtrack.
Yeah.
So I went to his concert last year. Bro, it was rocking. I'm in there like, yo, I didn't even know all these songs was for Rakim.
Yeah, go ahead. It. Nah, so yeah, Rakim was introduced to Rakim and some other my dad's favorite rappers.
Nice.
And that's when I started to realize my gift was to I process things quickly. So started writing, started rapping, went from that to, recording my own songs, mixing my own songs.
Right.
Went to school for a bit of time for like audio engineering.
Yes, sir.
And continued doing that and started collaborating, and then next thing you know, my dad was jacking beats for me.
Come on, stealing beats from you.
Stealing beats from me.
That's how it be, man. A student and a sensei. You done, you know what I'm saying, learned enough, and now you rocking. I got it. I love it. What I like to talk about too, man, is just like the creative process that goes behind making music.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people who make music, they're into obviously production, and they're into the whole process, beginning to end, to making a song. What's the difference between, I would say, and is there a difference? This is a question I never asked before. It just came to me. What's the difference between making a song, follow me now,
I'm listening,
and making music? I think that's a damn good question.
Wow.
Sometimes I'll blow my own self away. What's the difference between just making a song opposed to making music? Wow.
All right, well, in my words, I don't think I ever had a day where I set out and said, I'm going to be a musician. It's going to be my thing.
Right.
I'm about to get in this. We're going to make this money.
Yes, sir.
Nah, it was more like something that I kept bumping across by accident. And I'm like, oh, I'm good at this. Wow. And then more wows, and it was an experience for me. So making music for me was an experience, and that's how I would express it as I'm in the moment. So like my songs, a lot of my songs I've created on the spot. I used to write first.
Yep.
That was a thing. That was an experience, and I still have that, as part of me. That's in me because I started that way. But now for me, it's like present the vibe, or, I might be listening to a beat, and it's like I let my spirit come through and just, release what needs to be said, and then of course there's the conscious control too, because I filter things that I say. Like I'm very particular with the words I use.
Love it.
I don't curse in my music.
Hey, you gotta say that one more time.
I don't curse. Rakim, right?
Come on now.
He was
Talk
known
about
for
that's
that,
real.
right?
That's real. Damn, Rakim didn't curse in his music.
Right.
You're absolutely right.
And that's one of the things
Real
my
hip-hop.
pops pointed out to me early.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, yeah, they're right. Like, you show more creativity when you're able to express yourself without having to use the F word.
I agree.
In every bar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but to each his own. I'm not knocking people that do that.
Absolutely. That's you.
But for me, it was more like I was always good at writing. I got into a school called Philippa Scholar for the Gifted and Talented. Nice. And what got me into the school was my writing part of the exam. I was, very good at being, description, visual description and stuff like that. And so I'm realizing now that ability transferred into being able to write songs. I write songs visually. So
nice.
When I play a beat, my eyes are closed most of the time because
you can see images.
I'm seeing images, and then I translate them into words.
Love it.
And melodies is something that comes separate, and then I combine the two, and then that's the product.
Boom.
Yeah, that's my process.
I think that's absolutely beautiful, and I think that we live in an era now, in a generation where that aspect of the creative side of it is being a little, I wouldn't say lost, because I think there's so many creatives out here that still understand the importance of making real good music,
right,
and allowing yourself to go through a process that's genuine and authentic to yourself. But I think the music that's being broadcasted and pushed out to the world, especially in the hip hop community, it's really being promoted as lyricism doesn't matter, right? A lot of the people who have the spotlight right now in the mainstream media, in the industry, they're not really talking about shit for the most part. You know what I'm saying?
I think I know why though.
Talk to me a little bit about that.
So like we got to remember that just as big as, let's say, I'm just thinking somewhere I went today, like H&M.
Okay.
Right? Just as busy as they are, and, you know, you can imagine how often they have to restock and get new product because they're selling so quick, right? When you're dealing with these major labels, they can't just drop a song in January and nobody hear from them until December. Like, remember, that's where the millions are, these big record labels, right? And the reason being is because they have the money to back these projects. So now, see, this is what comes from understanding the business side of it. Some people may look at it some way, but at a point where they're in such demand that they need to get music out because they have quota to meet, you know what I'm saying? That's why they got teams of ghostwriters, because that one creative dude, he not getting a break. He's starting to feel like a robot, you know what I mean? So the music starts to sound robotic. It's being systematic now. It's being too left-brainish. It's like, okay, we need to get it out. Let's just follow the system. What's trendy now? Let's all do it because we need to pump out the music. Versus the unsigned artist is still taking his time and inventing, being innovative, and you know what I'm saying? Because he's not so focused on the numbers, which he should be. But then, you know, my key word that I was talking to you about before is learning the balance, because you need both. Yeah, you need the business side if you're gonna make money in music. You know what I mean? If you're gonna leave that and depend on a record label to come and do all of that, they're not gonna educate you on that.
That's right.
They're gonna take control of that.
And they're there for that money ultimately.
I mean, it's business, you know what I mean? It's dirty business if they want to call it that, but at the end of the day, they got taxes at the end of the year. They got employees to pay, like legitimately. Think about it. Like, you know, I've been in the Viacom building, for example. It's not a record label, but it's, you know, a corporate company in the entertainment industry. And when you go in there, you see the amount of staff in there, man. Then you start to realize, like, they gotta make money. They got people on payroll, and they're making money. But the reason why they're making money, you're talking about big production. So anyway, my point is, when you're dealing with mainstream music, understand that's like big business. That's like, you know, Saks Fifth Ave. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be talking about, we're out of that until next month. Meaning, you know, we dropping this song, we'll see you next year.
Gotta push that thing right now.
We gotta make money.
When's the next one?
We got people on payroll.
When's the next one? Got you. I love it. When I think about music from our perspective, and when I say our, I'm talking about black folk, I'm talking about culturally, historical, ancestral history of our people in music. I feel like we have such a connection to music, to sound. Yeah. We have such a connection to vibration. Talk to me a little bit about, and we've spoke about it briefly before, but talk to me about it from an ancestral perspective in regards to, do you think that a lot of people are born with the gift because of ancestral history, and like the ancestors are like moving and living through us still? Or do you feel like it's just like these are gifts that we've adopted throughout, you know, just with our environment? If you're born in a house that's always playing soul music, you're gonna grow up and want to be, you know, or do you think it's a little deeper than that? Talk a little bit about that process.
Well, there's like two sides to life. You got the spirit. Yep. Right? Yep. And then you have, you know, well, as an individual, I should say, you have your spirit, and then you have your wakeful mind, your conscious state, right? And these two work together. Yeah. Right? And they manifest in the world in a similar manner, where you have groups of people that are more spiritual, right? Meaning more creative, more receptive, more intuitive, right? And then you have your more like left brain people that are very like here, present, and they just want to dominate. They want very yang, very extroverted. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at it that way, there's always, right, what they say, two sides to a coin. There's yin and yang. You know, so you're gonna have black people who just happen to be that more spiritual and tuned side of the coin, right? And then you have your other people who are not, you know, who are more like trying to learn from us because they don't fully understand, like, how do you do it when we don't even know how we do it? We just it just comes out. You understand? Got you. So that makes them more studious. That makes us more, intuitive.
Got you. When I spoke to you about it in New York, and again, man, we spoke for hours, literally just on a multitude of different topics, and I was so fascinated by your mind, so fascinated on the knowledge that you hold centered around a multitude of different topics, but primarily around our people. And I think that once you start speaking to somebody who's quote unquote conscious, or just kind of not even conscious, just educated on our people and our history, and then you speak to somebody like me who's not, honestly, just speaking truthfully, I'm not as educated nearly as I would want to be on our people from an ancestral and a historical level.
Yeah.
And I think that, a lot of us are relying on the history that was taught to us in the school system our whole lives. But where did your research start to kind of look outside of the box in regards to wanting to see, a deeper level of our roots, right? As people, as African people, where did that thirst for knowledge begin for you, and how long and how deep has that rabbit hole taken you in regards to, searching for knowledge on our people?
Definitely when I met my pops.
Nice.
That was the turning point. I was always receptive. Like, I was the only child. Not an excuse for that,
Of
but
course.
my personal experience of being the only child was I spent a lot of time sitting down and observing. I actually enjoyed that. I didn't think anything of it.
Gotcha.
So when you sit and observe, there's gonna be most of the time, if you're present, you're gonna learn a lot because you're taking in everything around you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the beauty of being observative, being grounded, present in the moment, is you get to see things for what they are. You know what I mean? So anyway, I did that a lot. And when I met my dad, he was the first person that could answer a lot of the questions I had. Because I was a deep thinker. For my age, the questions I was asking, I was a little advanced. I was skipped in school, 1 or 2 times, because of that ability to learn quickly. You understand, to process things.
Yeah.
So when I remember the first conversation I had with my dad that I could remember. It started off with the caveman question. From asking him about caveman, it's just like, like he just took off the veil. I was like, wow, what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot to learn. That was that point in my life when I was
caveman, and how that kind of started.
Yeah, because caveman was one of them subjects as kids that
for sure.
They kind of say, yeah, it was real, but you're not sure. It's like, so me, I brought that up. Like, he gave me an explanation. I don't really remember. It's been a while. But all of that came into, my dad is very spiritual. He's been, across a lot of different religions, just studying them. And, he was able to piece everything together to present to me an outlook on life, which is being at one. You know what I'm saying? Learning how to not be against anything, but to take from it what you can, and to not reject what you don't accept. Just like, more like, in simple words, mind your business.
That's right.
Mind your business. And at the end of the day, we looking at our eyes, living our life. You know what I mean? So before we walk around worried about what other people are believing in, and where's you? What are you doing for you? Like, that's more important. Focus on you, because at the end of the day, when we transition, that's who we got to answer to, is our higher selves, us. You know what I mean? That's what's there. That's the only thing that So yeah, man.
How much of life do you think is about discovering who we are? I'm one to believe, my main man Tuu Ra, that life's journey is just that. It's a self-discovery journey, and it's constant. It's nonstop, because every level that you discover about yourself, there's always another level on top of it. I remember the great Jim Rohn said, the journey of self-discovery is one that lasts a lifetime. And this was an 80-something-year-old man who was like packed with knowledge. I'm not sure if you know who Jim Rohn is, but he was the first. He was way more than a motivational speaker. He's more like educator, professor. But one of the first people I got put onto, and he said that, and it stuck to me, because here's this 80-something-year-old man that's like, internationally known, And he's saying that the journey of self never, ever ends.
Yeah.
There's always new heights. There's always new levels. What's that process been like for you? Compare the Tuu Ra to what we see today to the Tuu Ra to the Tuu Ra 10 years ago. What's the distinct difference and why?
So definitely like, the most consistent and common thing between all men is that from the time we are conscious, we're learning.
Yeah.
What's that? A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Blue, black, identifying, labeling, processing.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? It's like, that's the, from the time I'm here. You see, like my daughter, right? She's picking up stuff, studying it.
Want to taste stuff.
You know what I'm saying?
What's going on?
She's imitating. Or you make a certain noise, she's going to try to make it back. You know what I'm saying? This is learning. At the root of that is learning, right? That's very consistent. Every day, whether we're conscious of it or not, we took in something.
Right.
It might have been an ad, that popped up.
Mommy, what's that?
Right.
Daddy, what's that?
Or even just the awareness of something. Like, you see an ad, you never heard of Metro PCS.
You're like, what's that?
And then you just passing by, you didn't even really take it serious, but now you're aware that there's such a company. See, just on the basis level, you learn something.
Right.
Every second, right?
Even subconsciously, we're constantly learning.
Exactly.
Right? Because our minds are constantly picking up pieces of information.
Receiver, yeah.
So whether we're acknowledging, and I think, and I'm one to believe, we're going to touch a little bit on this, I'm one to believe that's what dreams are. They're just a manifestation of, your subconscious mind.
No, it is.
Right?
Yeah. And
just the images that it's picking up, because dreams are usually just full pieces of imagery. That's why they jump from scene to scene to scene to scene. Yeah. It's like, damn, how did I start on a hike and end up in a mall? Like, that shouldn't even make no sense. I was running and all that. So it's just like different images. Like, so yeah, just throwing that in there.
Wow.
But go ahead, Tuu Ra. What else you got?
So yeah, you asked what's that journey been for me? Yep. So like I said, once I first met my dad, what he instilled in me, I'm a big on my dad a lot. I love my mom to death.
Love it.
She gave me my ability to be eloquent.
There we go.
So I give my mom that credit. But my dad is the one who like I said, he took off the veil for me. Wow. And one of the main things that will never leave me that my dad gave to me is spiritual development, or people don't want to use that, if you want to call it self-improvement, or what, if you don't want to, whatever you want to call it, growth. You know what I'm saying? Right. On every aspect, on every level though. Yes, maybe I'm not just talking physical growth. I'm talking mental, spiritual, improving your character kind of thing. So if there's a consistency in someone saying that you have this negative tendency, what are you doing about that? Are you sitting down with yourself and having that conversation like, okay, when am I going to kick this? Because it's interfering with the good harmonious relationships that I could be having with people. You know what I'm saying? Not many people do that.
Yeah, a lot of people are and a lot of people are aware of their negative traits, but they're in denial because it's comfortable. So you'll hear a lot of people say things like, but that's just me. That's me, so deal with it. You hear a lot of people say that, and it's like, no, that's a side of you that you've adopted that's become comfortable to you. And so now you use it as a form of protection in a sense, because you don't want to change it. So I'm huge on that, bro. Always encouraging positive and negative feedback about yourself, especially us as creatives, musicians, entertainers. We constantly are in the spotlight. You know what I mean? To where criticism is always going to be there. And I think a lot of people run away from criticism, but for me, I try my best to run towards constructive criticism, not on some hating shit, not on some you don't really fuck with me, and you just want something to say every project I dropped, you know what I'm saying? But it's no, somebody who got love for you. If Tuu Ra hit me and he yo, bro, I see what you're doing. but just putting it in your ear, I think maybe this should be adjusted or this should be adjusted. That's love. I'm going to humbly receive that because I know your intentions are pure, and I'm not going to run away from something that could potentially take me to another level. I want to ask you something, though, that's on my heart heavy, and I always tell the people, Tuu Ra, as you know, you follow me on Instagram, I say, yo, it's your main man, King Q. I got something on my heart if I don't share it, then I'm selfish, hence the name Unselfish Behavior. I'll talk fast, or maybe they listen a little slow. You know what I'm saying? Tuu Ra? But what I'm saying is this. How passionate are you about making sure black folk are aware of their culture? How passionate are you about that? And what is some of the work that you've done to just kind of make sure that you bring that awareness to our people?
I think the passion is starting currently with my personal experience. Because I'd say, like, though I was very aware of, you know, our history. Okay, wow, that just came to me.
There we go.
So there's a difference between, you know, when people hear culture, they run to history. You know what I'm saying? Culture, there's no end to our culture. It just evolves.
It's forever evolving.
Right.
Love it.
So this experience, I'm passionate about it for my people. But I notice, like, right now, the ancestors are definitely working with me and revealing themselves to me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not at that point yet where it's like I want to tell everyone, like, yo, this is what you need to do. For me, it's more, at the moment, it's a personal experience. And I think that I'm infecting the people that's just around me, witnessing it happening. You know what I'm saying? But to get to the point, you know, I've been in West Africa since January.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? What do I mean by that?
Vibrate.
Like, my attention, my focus, my business, my collaborations. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of my time this year, though I wasn't there present physically, has been spent there developing relationships, like I said, collaborating. And the beautiful part of it is happening through something that I'm already passionate about, which is music.
That's what it's all about.
And it's the connection. And, you know, this is how my ancestors chose to reveal themselves through me, is by me following my passion.
How important is it to follow the passion? A lot of people out there have things they're passionate about, but they're not following them for external reasons. And I'm not sure if you've experienced, but there's a lot of people who are going to be tuned into this episode that are dealing with just this. And that's, oh, I want to do this. I'm passionate about it, but I don't want to quit my 9-to-5 job because I'm not going to be able to pay my bills. Or I want to do this, but my partner doesn't support me. Or I want to do this, but my mom told me it's stupid. Or I want to do this, but financially, I don't see how to make sense. I want to do this, but I've been game planning it. I've been game planning for it for a whole year or for a few months or whatever the case may be. But really, the game planning is a mask that's been keeping me stagnant to not actually put forth any true work. What do you say to the people who are having a hard time following the things that they're passionate about?
They need healing. That's my personal experience. And once I started to realize that the only reason why I'm not fully engaged in my purpose and I'm inconsistent and I'm swaying or whatever, or I'm not believing in myself one day, or, you know, whatever, you know, just I'm not on it, was because I wasn't good within. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this goes back to what we were just talking about earlier, the importance of having optimal health.
Speak on that.
Right? Vitality, energy, right? If you plugged your nose right now and we stopped you from breathing, it's just a matter of minutes and you're gone, right? Because we're taking in life force energy through the oxygen. Okay, so we're talking about it on a basic level now. So now we have the understanding that we need energy, right? Either through air, food, right? Light, water. We need energy to survive. But energy doesn't stop there. You even need energy to think. Right? Energy, the definition of energy, not verbatim, but is the capacity to carry out sustained work. Energy. Right? So if there's no energy, right? you won't be able to carry out work.
Got you.
It's that simple.
Yep.
Right? So what am I getting at? So why aren't people like beamlining on their passions and the things that they're here to do?
Right.
There's no energy, or there's an imbalance in the energy. There's not enough of the required energy to take a certain action. And these are the things that I've learned through Qi Gong.
Yeah.
You know
Speak on that, bro. Speak on that Qi Gong energy, because you spoke to me about it in New York.
Yeah.
In Brooklyn, might I add, because you know BK, you know that's the hometown.
Yeah.
They say that a lot out there. I fell in love with it, you know. But you spoke a little bit about the Qi Gong out there, and I found myself going home really researching it and break down to the people who are not familiar with Qi Gong, what that is, and just kind of the history behind stuff like that. Because you told me you've practiced it before, and just kind of talk to me about the benefits of something like Qi Gong.
All right. Qi Gong is energy cultivation. Mm-hmm. That's basically, in essence, the meaning of Qi Gong. Qi means life force, which is energy, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. And Gong means cultivation, right? Mm-hmm. So the basis of Qi Gong is learning how to manipulate the breathing, and using certain movements to increase balance or et cetera, manipulate, to sum it up, the different energies that exist within our energy body, mm-hmm. which is the body that keeps the physical body alive, right? Mm-hmm. So it's simple science. It's, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
you know, traditional Chinese medicine mm-hmm. is like the umbrella that houses Qi Gong, Chinese medicine, like herbal, mm-hmm. using herbs to increase certain energy, etc. But it's a whole system. And, you know, in China, it's been well known for years that they use this to heal patients. You know, mm-hmm. they use it to help people recover. Mm-hmm. Massage, acupuncture, it's all the same purpose at their root, which is to manipulate the energy, the life force that's flowing through the body. Mm-hmm. Okay. So Qi Gong is the physical movements that one can do on their own just by breathing and holding certain postures. You can increase your energy, balance your energy out. Yeah,
that's real. When you're talking, I'm thinking about that damn cartoon Avatar.
Yeah.
You familiar, right?
Yeah.
You familiar, anime?
Yeah.
Man, brothers be up in there and bending air and bending water and bending
like and
earth.
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, bro, that's real. But is you know, you think about a cartoon like that and you think, I'm thinking about Qi Gong, like, because I remember a lot of their training is centered around that type of movement to where they're that's what it is, right?
So remember Karis once said, I don't remember if it was a lyric or I think it was a lyric. It was something like,
"Love me some KRS One." Anybody know me? No, I love me.
We
some
got
KRS
a lot of comment.
You gotta understand that, brother, right there. Knowledge is power. You gotta understand that.
Yeah, he was like, you know, where you think they get these ideas from the movies? It's imitations of life. You know, some people think that, you know, there's very few people that just kind of like pull something out of thin air and make a movie out of it. Right. A lot of times, people are inspired by things
certain
around
things
them.
That
you know what I'm saying? The things that they learn. Like, I done it hundreds of times where I learn about something and now I want to incorporate it in my music.
That's real.
You know, film writers do the same thing.
The same shit with film, huh? Yeah. I be swear to God, bro, because I'm a huge superhero fan, Marvel and DC and the whole nine. And I swear I'll be looking at these movies, dog, like they be revealing shit to us and we don't even be knowing it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro,
they dangle it in your face.
Dangle it right in your face, bro. You looking at spots like, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, Black Panther came out, which was a huge one, but you look at vibranium, which was like the metal that they were using for their weapons and it's everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like shit like that exists, bro. I really, really, really do. I feel like vibranium, something to that capacity. It may not even be called vibranium, but I feel like something like that exists, bro. For me, I'm just so passionate about, I'm thirsty for knowledge, bro.
Yeah.
Like when I have people sitting across from me, I'm constantly reminding myself how thirsty I am for knowledge. And I would say, bro, less than 5 years ago, my man Tuu Ra, I wasn't even at a place, bro, to where I can hold a healthy conversation with somebody across from me that had a different perspective than I have.
I could say the same.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think as a people, we need to really start growing more comfortable, even through the discomfort, with having conversation. I'm not talking about having agreements. I'm not talking about having debates. I'm like healthy conversation to where you can share your perspective and your game plan. I can share my perspective and my game plan. We can take small beneficial pieces out of both perspectives and try to make something happen with it. What do you think holds us back the most as a people from progressing more so as a unit instead of like, because I think as a people we have a very selfish way of thinking a lot of times, and I say that just based off my experience. I could be wrong in that, but why do you think we have not progressed to the level to where our fullest capacity? What do you think holds us back the most as a people?
We need healing.
Healing. Back to the healing. I love it.
Yeah. Bro, we're as Black African Americans, or Caribbean, African Caribbean, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
At the end of the day, Africans, all right?
Yeah.
Bro, we got snatched up. Like we went through some serious trauma.
Right, that's
like,
real.
That's
facts.
That's in our DNA.
Facts.
It's deep, you know what I'm saying? And then you gotta think about it. They spent a lot of time and energy over decades to make sure that they kept us down.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the children of those, parents, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, what do you think they're going to be?
That's facts.
What they say, hurt people hurt people?
Yes, sir.
So if you got a hurt person that needs healing, you know what I'm saying? Raising children, what do you think is going to come out of that?
Right.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
It ain't nothing like more than that. It's just, bro, we're products of the trauma we experienced through slavery.
Right.
Think about it. There's not many other races on the planet that reveal that they need healing as much as Black people. Well, African Americans, let's just say that. I can only speak for
absolutely,
us here in the Caribbean.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But that ain't just gonna go away like, oh, okay, it's over. Let's get back to business. Nah.
It took decades of work to get us here, and it's gonna take decades of work to get us out of it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and it starts with healing, understanding. It ain't nothing magical or superpower. Nothing.
How do we heal?
Science.
What about the people who don't know how to heal? Where to start with that? What does healing look like for Black people, for African people?
Knowledge of self.
There we go. There we go.
Like a lot of people, because of the disconnection from our culture, a lot of people, if you were to ask them, "Who are you?" You'd say, "I'm King Q. I'm Quentin." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's who I am.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, what are you? Like, what is your, where do you come from? Where were you before you opened your eyes and realized you were here?
Got you.
How many people can answer that?
Not a lot.
I mean, think about that.
That's
Somebody said, I just wasn't in existence. Okay.
Right.
But can you prove that?
Yeah. I think too, in saying that, what just came to me is the spiritual awareness. We're a spiritual people. So I think that it's not even so much of like, when you say, because what came to my mind when you say, who are you? I immediately went to a spiritual level.
Yeah.
And I think it starts there, right?
All of it.
All of it starts there.
All of it. I mean, sorry to cut you, but it goes back to that fundamental principle we spoke about earlier. Learning.
Yeah.
We could give it all the titles we want, self-improvement, spiritual. At the root, what's happening?
Learning.
We're learning. You know what I'm saying? We're going to learn either through trial or error or through someone else's experience what works and what does not work, what serves us, what doesn't serve us, what kills us, what keeps us alive. We learn these things. Now, whether we choose to use that to our advantage, to our benefit or not is a different story.
Right. I feel that.
Yeah.
Now, you talk about, you said killing us. So the first thing I think about is like the food, bro. It's like we're in an age right now to where being vegan is like cracking. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
thank God.
I
remember the days, man.
It's a good movement.
I remember the days I used to get clowned for that.
For being vegan, right? So for me, bro, it's something I kind of obviously not obviously. I don't know why niggas say obviously so much.
That's cool.
It's just whatever. It's not obvious. Nobody even knows what the fuck I'm talking about. But I think it's dope. I double dab in it. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking to become more consistent with it. I have felt a significant difference when I did do it consistently. And I was doing plant-based for like 5 or 6 months straight. I mean, a significant difference on all spectrums.
You learn that.
on all spectrums, bro. I learned that. The learning, it comes back to the learning. That's why I got to take me another trip to New York. Because look, man, this is a brother right here that you got to stay tapped in with. Like, you don't meet too many people like you, bro. But I want to talk about the importance of food, bro. Like, this is such an educational platform, I feel, for people. And when they tune in, you know, we're obviously, you know, looking to inspire people through our own personal testimony. And again, I feel like if we don't share it, we selfish, and you in here dropping gems on us. So I just want to take full advantage of it and just say, you know, talk on all spectrums. I think food is such a healing aspect to us as a people. We have very poor habits of eating, which I believe was stemmed from slavery and them throwing out the fucking guts of a pig to us and having us eat swine and, you know, a multitude of just other things that we made work. We put some seasoning on that shit, washed it, and made the best of it. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
But you talk about even soul food. There's nothing soulfully rich about eating fried chicken or macaroni and cheese or collard greens with fucking extra neck bone sauce on that shit. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have such poor habits.
As some would say, ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is ignorance is bliss.
Because
right?
when we didn't know, that chicken
that
was
shit
good.
tastes good. Well, it still tastes good. Stop playing with me right now. Thanksgiving just passed. I ain't gonna sit up here and be no damn hypocrite. I told you I double dab. I ain't in it all the way. Stop playing with me.
Hey, I'm minding my business.
Come on now, minding your business. Look, I'm minding mine. I just had me some fried chicken. Stop playing.
That's unselfish behavior.
That's unselfish behavior. That's what it's all about right there. That's exactly what it's all about.
Facts.
But for me, bro, it's like when I'm interviewing people or when I'm communicating with people in general, I'm always thinking about it from the perspective of the listener. Yeah. So if I'm at home listening to us have a conversation, I'm looking for inspiration to be drawn and talk to the people about one of the main things people struggle with, bro, is their eating habits.
Yeah.
Is their eating habits, bro. And that's everybody. That's not just our people. I think that is an American epidemic, and it has been for a multitude of years. How do we start to normalize or maybe you even feel we're already going in that direction? How do we start to normalize eating healthier options as a people? And how important is it as a people to eat healthier in regards to our spiritual development?
It's gonna happen. It's happening. So we, let's clap for that. Right.
BV likes to put claps in his
like I went on my bad.
No, you good. Go ahead.
I went on a, vegetarian path around the age of like 14, 15.
Got you.
That's when I started working at the discipline, because it's a slugfest, bro.
Oh yeah.
When I used to get on the truck with my cousin.
Come on.
Lunchtime, there's a spot we got in Brooklyn called Blue Mountain. That's free promo right there, I guess.
There we go. There we go.
It's a spot, everybody knows to go get that jerk chicken from.
There we go.
And so when he would come in the truck with it and I'd smell it,
game over.
I'm like, all right, one more day.
Yeah, one more.
You know what I'm saying?
You took me to that bomb-ass Haitian food vegan spot. Bro, you took me to a bomb-ass Haitian food vegan spot.
Haitian
food vegan, bro. Out there, when it was that black lady, it was like a little hole in the wall spot. I took a picture of it. They had that hot sauce. It was me and you, bro. We were sitting in there. It was after the Boys and Girls Club we went to in Brooklyn, I feel we were in.
Oh, it's Guyanese.
That's Haitian vegan food, right?
No, Guyanese vegan food.
Guyanese vegan food.
Yeah,
what the hell is Guyanese? I don't even know what that is.
Guyana.
Got you.
And South.
I don't know what. Are you Haitian?
I'm Haitian and Jamaican.
That's what I was probably thinking.
I'm Haitian and Jamaican.
Haitian and Jamaican.
I got a lot of Jamaican cousins.
Yeah.
Hey, you didn't say the Jamaican loud enough.
But yeah, bro, that was some good ass food. But go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off, bro.
But basically, you were just asking me like, how do we normalize food? So I think it's gonna start when whoever's writing these textbooks start telling the truth.
Cause you think that's ever gonna happen?
I mean, they starting to, slip certain things out of the textbooks. Every new edition, they start, if you pay attention, for example, on the news, they don't really say Christopher Columbus discovered anymore. They say when Christopher Columbus landed in the Americas. They switching up their lingo now. So what I'm saying, like,
I love it. Got you.
Because it's just a matter of time where people actually find the factual documents, and they start saying, okay, so why are you putting this in the textbook when this is the facts? You know what I'm saying? So it's just a matter of time.
That's real.
But for the health though, I think it starts with people know what's good for them.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think it's more so. It's okay. Partially, it's the lack of knowledge on different types of food and what foods is good for you in what way. You know what I'm saying? Because truth motivates you to take action. I'll give you an example. If I say, yo, Q, on God, here's the picture. Go outside. There's $100 on the floor. Go get that.
That's me.
You're motivated to go out there because you know it's there.
Because you know it's there. Got you. I see where you're going.
So when it comes to health, if there's no truth, if there's no education on, okay, if you eat this carrot, like what is this carrot actually gonna do for you? When you have that up here, you know what I'm saying? If you take the time out to say, okay, what can I get from carrots, especially when I take it in high dosages, etc. What vitamins, etc. When you know that, when you look at a carrot, you're gonna be more motivated to eat it now, because everyone who's healthy, to an extent, mentally, wants to become better.
Yes, sir.
I mean, who would not want to become better? I don't think I've ran into anyone that's gonna sit there and be like, I don't want to be better.
I just want to stay the same.
I don't want to. Yeah. I don't want to advance. No, everyone has that in them. You know what I'm saying?
It's human nature to want to
But
advance,
what's gonna drive that is having the truths and understanding of what things are. We got to get out of this habit of just doing things in unconscious mode.
Yeah, just out of habit.
Just going with the flow. Like, I'm doing it because my mama did it, and that's just what we do.
That's so real. You talking about now just breaking, a lot of people call them generational curses. I call them generational habits. You know what I'm saying? Just like, okay, you think, for example, from a disciplinary standpoint, I think about a lot of parents who I see, in me working with kids and me having a lot of contact with parents, seeing how parents speak to their kids. You're literally just refurbishing what happened to you when you were a kid.
Right.
And just because it happened to you doesn't mean it was healthy. So a lot of people in the black community will be like, well, boy, I fed you that. You came out fine. I did that to you. You came out fine. Matter of fact, no, I didn't come out fine. What is fine? Like, I grew up with a shitload of traumas. I grew up feeling like I had to suppress emotionally. I grew up not feeling like I can freely express myself. And so, like you said, what is fine? You know what I'm saying? So for me, those habits translates into just the way you think, perspective, and just, what life is. For me, I'm one to believe, bro, I'm a bit of a free thinker in the sense of follow the things that bring you the most fulfillment. And I mean healthy fulfillment. So a lot of people hear me say that and say, well, what if crack brings? Shut the fuck up. Like, you know what the hell I'm talking about. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Clearly that has some negative side effects.
Right. That has some negative side effects to that. So I'm talking about healthy fulfillment. Things that bring you the most joy to your spirit, the most peace, which is very, very important. I want to believe that your purpose is attached to the things that bring you the most fulfillment, but it's always in the service of other people. So there's no way that you can tell me that you're walking in your purpose, but the way you're doing that is in a very selfish way. You're not even giving to the people on any spectrum at all. So for me, I'm really big on just making sure that I'm educating people on the importance of following fulfillment and not just shit that has a paycheck attached to it. What's been your experience in that? I want to know a little bit about that in regards to making sure that you're healthy from the inside out, and making sure that you're strategic in the partners that you have and the collaborations that you have, making sure the alignment is there, making sure you're prioritizing yourself. Talk to me a little bit about what that process has been like for my main man Tuu Ra, and not just going after things that may have, just because it's $100, if you will, obviously speaking from your example you just gave. What's that experience been like for you?
Definitely. This is gonna be the key word, I guess, of this talk is learning, right? So, for me, how I was raised, anything I'm getting into, like I don't want to just do it, just to just do it. Like I want to understand it. Like how does this work? Like we was talking about music. All right, if I'm getting into music. I could just do it and enjoy it, but I could really understand it, which will enable me to do much more with it.
Love it.
I'll give you a small example.
Yep.
An artist that, limits him or herself to rapping, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? We'll never really get to experience the reality of what it's like to be melodic, you know, play with notes. You know what I'm saying? Some do it by accident, some do it intentionally, but it's just like, okay, if I'm making this music, why don't I understand every facet of it so that I can be better with it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's dumb it down, right? You could get a new car and you could just stick to the basics. I know what rolls the window down.
Yep.
I know how to drive. I know how to park, blah, blah, blah. I know how to turn up the radio. That's it. That's all I need to know. You got a lot of people that do that, right? And then you got the other person that they might not necessarily pull out the manual, but over time, they're gonna sit back.
I see what you're saying.
They're going to get in the present moment.
Yep.
And they're going to ask questions. What does this do? That person, the advantage that they're going to have over the person that doesn't take out time to do that is they're going to be able to operate that vehicle better.
There we go.
Than the other person.
Got you.
You know?
So not being so quick to try to find the answers to something before you try to have the experience in that. I think that's directly attached to people.
Yeah, just like know what you're getting into.
Right.
You know, like, okay, let's go back to food.
Yep.
You've been eating chicken all your life. You maybe paid attention in health class. You probably don't remember.
Yeah, not really. I think I failed.
What is this chicken doing inside of me? Like, let's think about that. Yeah. Isn't that something you would want to know?
Absolutely.
Like, what's it doing? How does it affect the body?
Right.
Is it increasing me or decreasing me? Because like I said, anyone that's healthy mentally wants to grow, wants to feel strong and able, right?
Yeah.
So if that be the case, it would make sense to constantly learn what things are here in the world, accessible to us, to stay increasing our energy, staying abundant and vital. You know what I'm saying? Learning and increasing and growing, keyword, right?
Absolutely.
Learning, growing, learning,
yes, sir.
growing. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it all boils back to that. That's every man's purpose in simple terms is to come here and learn.
Absolutely.
Like life on earth is school. Think
Absolutely.
about it.
That's
it's
real.
school.
Every
like
day.
I said, from the time a baby is aware, they start opening their eyes, they start identifying faces. Okay, I see this gotta be my mom. They're not saying that with words per se, but it's an intuition.
Familiarity.
Yes. It's like, that's learning. It's like, okay, like, not using those words again, right?
This is the person who puts me to sleep. This is the person who's changing me. This is the person who's bathing me. I'm familiarizing these behaviors and these characteristics with you being my provider. Got you.
And when that next part of the brain develops now, they start using labels, words, to identify things instead of just recalling it off of visual memory.
Yes, sir.
Right? So now the left brain is awakening now and doing work. It's defining things. Labeling things, segregating things. You know what I'm saying? The younger you are, as a child, we more see the world as just like, wow, the world, right? The older you get, you start to look at things, you know, for what they are. Like, okay, if you're healthy, right? You start to see things and identify little things. You start paying attention to things. Like, I immediately notice when the logo changed from King Q to Unselfish Podcast Behavior, just as an example of
visuals, right?
You know what I'm saying? As an example of how I take time out to pay attention, to see what's going on. And I was like, okay, I like the King Q, but I like this title too. You know what I'm saying? There's not many people that sit down and pay attention to things. They just go with the flow.
That's facts.
You know, they be on Instagram just like
scrolling their ass off, hypnotized. You
know what I'm saying? But look, you asked the question, how do we get to that point? It starts with understanding, like, if you want to be the best you got to dedicate your life to learning.
Got you.
And utilizing the things that are advantageous for your success holistically.
Got you.
Not just financially.
Of course.
As a family man, as a businessman, as a employee, whatever route you choose to take. How are you performing in that? What's your character? Is it integral? You know, because at the end of the day, that's what people get remembered for, right? How good or bad they were. It boils down to that.
Plain and simple.
And so what defines good or bad? The choices you make. What's going to help you make the right choices? Your understanding of what's good and what's not learning.
There we go.
Simple.
That's beautiful, brother.
It's life.
Hey, I find myself a sponge on this show. I love this show, man, and for this reason, right here, because obviously I'm a talker too, Ra. If you haven't noticed, I'm a talker, so it's refreshing sometimes, bro, to just sit back and learn and to just experience different perspectives and different experiences and ideologies. Yeah. So you're a breath of fresh air, brother. So I thank you. I thank you. Before we leave, though, it's very important to make sure that I do this. And if you've been watching the episodes, you know what's coming, Tuu Ra. We like to call this segment, we allow this segment to be broad and open and spacious for our guest to be able to look at this camera right here, which is your camera, by the way. It's been on you the whole damn time. That's yours right there.
I've been locked on you.
Man, look, you know how we do, though? Yeah. Vibes. You've been doing the right thing because, we've been locked in together. But you'll look at that camera and you'll end off what we like to call an unselfish message. Your unselfish message is basically a message centered around whether it's something inspired from this conversation, whether it's something that, centered around an ideology that you believe in. It could be absolutely anything that you want to leave the audience with, for the people who know you and for the people who don't know you. What is your ending message, your overall message that and I got a feeling I know what it is because you talk about it the whole interview. But, what's the ending message you want to leave? What's your unselfish message from my main man, Tuu Ra, to your camera right there?
So my unselfish work recently, right, has been what I just shared, learning, right, the importance and the value of that and becoming the best you that you could be. That's where it is, because think about it, if you're not being the best you, then what are you doing?
That's real. My main man, Tuu Ra. Hey, I got to say this. My main man flew out here just to come on the Unselfish Behavior Podcast. So we're going to make sure, be visuals. We make sure we drop this man's episode before this month is up. We got you.
Yeah, appreciate you.
This episode was beautiful. It was packed with a lot of different spectrums, ideologies, a lot of different curves. It was exactly what I wanted. And I think a lot of people are going to enjoy you. You're a very genuine spirited brother. And I think we need more people like you, more leaders like you, brother. So keep up all the great work. Congrats on all your successes.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work. I'll be in Africa soon, jamming my ass off to some of your new music. You gotta understand.
Yeah, we doing Afro beats now, man.
There we go.
Shout out to all the people that I've been collaborating with, in West Africa. I'm not gonna go down the list of names right now, but that's what's been exposing me to my culture as of late is Afro beats. It's bringing me and a lot of other people back home. Love it. So yeah.
Hey, with that being said, man, Unselfish Behavior Podcast. Be visuals. We always got to shout out Be Visuals. And you know what I'm saying? You know how we do. We got the queen of the podcast, Simone in the back, always representing. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, man, this episode, Unselfish Behavior Podcast, that is a wrap. We out. Yo, what's going on? It's your main man, King Q. If you like that episode, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, like, and leave a comment. And also, if you want to follow the movement, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Unselfish Behavior Podcast. And as you know, we out.